Hello again. This is Doug, and it's time for another edition of Monday Mail Call. Let's get to your questions. So, first up, Marco was watching the How to Terrace Your Hillside video, and he wanted to know what was the cost of all of that? That's a great question, Marco. So, there were two terraces that were done in the video. There was another terrace that was actually already installed before we got there. The total cost of all three of those terraces was about $18,000 to $20,000. It was a lot of work because there was a lot of excavation by hand and it was a lot of heavy material. But it was about 18 to 20,000 to terrace that hillside. That hillside was 65 feet wide, and as you saw in the video, there's a total now of three terraces. Harry had a question on the same video. Who did that? The terracing in that video was installed by a company called Unique Landscaping based here in San Diego, and they did a tremendous job on that video. All right, next up we have Smithy, who was watching the hybrid tees versus floor benda video, and he asked, where did the rose Marilyn Monroe get its name? Well, it was named, of course, after the actress Marilyn Monroe. A lot of times, rose companies will get the permission of the estates of people who've passed away, Julia Childs, Marilyn Monroe, and ask permission to use their name to name a new rose. The company figures, and they're correct, that this will help with marketing the new product because there's some wonderful imagery associated with Marilyn Monroe, Julia Childs, and so on and so forth. And they do have to pay a small royalty to the estates of those people. So, Smithy, great question. Next question from John, who is watching the backyard lighting series. What are the potential impacts on low voltage lighting on wildlife? John, that is a great question. So low voltage lighting is certainly preferable than standard halogen lighting because it's not as bright. That being said, if you live somewhere where you butt up against a natural area where there is a lot of wildlife, you want to be careful, especially with those uplights. Shining those uplights into trees can really have a negative impact on the potential wildlife, scaring away the birds and owls and other animals that are beneficial for a healthy garden. So if you have one of those type of gardens, be careful where you point those uplights. The other lights, the ones that point down, don't impact the native wildlife as much, but be careful with those uplights. But John, that's a great question. All right, Robin wants to know, she was watching the redbud video, what is the minimum distance to plant a redbud as far as how close can you put it next to a house? I have planted that tree within about 4 or 5 feet of a house. You don't want to go a whole lot closer just because you're going to be constantly pruning branches away from the house. Now, some people don't mind pruning the branches like that, but that's about the distance away you can get. The next question is kind of related to that question. It comes from a viewer named Little Kaza. How deep do the roots of the redbud tree go? So, as I've mentioned in previous videos, tree roots are a factor of a lot of different things, not just the tree, but also the soil density, the watering habits, and where you live in America, or for that matter, anywhere in the world. The redbud tree, because it is a small tree, it tops out at about 15 feet here. It gets as big as 20 feet back east where you have much more porous soil. It will tend to stay pretty close to the surface. It's not going to go very deep, especially in Southern California, because there is no oxygen below about 2 or 3 feet. So it's the kind of thing that you can plant it pretty close to a house and not worry about it messing up your foundation. It's one of the reasons I love the redbud tree. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned and come back next week when I'll have some more questions. This is Monday Mail Call. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video helpful, and make sure to hit subscribe to get more of my videos. Thanks for watching.